I wrote this story because it reminded me of a childhood adventure. I learned that sometimes it is not where you're from or where you are, but it is where you're going. I titled it, The Ride to Paradise. I grew up in a small town called Coatesville, about 13 miles east of Lancaster, Pennsylvania, also known as Amish country. It was nicknamed Steel City because Lucan Steel Company is located there and is now called ArcelorMittal, which occupies a large portion of the town. There's a railroad track that begins at this company and ends near the Amish country. The home I grew up in was about 500 feet from a section of the steel company. The fence that was supposed to keep us out had a big enough hole that we could slither through. I was 9 years old, and my cousins were 14 and 15. One day, we were so bored with fishing under the bridge, we decided to hop an empty train car. We knew the route because when we had gone shopping for school clothes at the outlets in Lancaster, we had seen the train go up Route 30, also named Old Lincoln Highway. Marlo and Jonas were male cousins of mine, so I knew they would protect me as they always did. Besides, I was the biggest tomboy around. I could hang tough. Grandma had given us grub so we would not get hungry while we were fishing. Having eaten the snacks, we were ready to venture off. I could only imagine how far we might go. I prayed my mama would not find out. After we had been in the train car for only 5 minutes, it came to a screeching halt. Did the yardmasters hear us? We darted to a dark corner of the train car, and we could hear the workers walking alongside the train tracks.
All clear here,
one of them said. Then the train horn sounded, and we slowly began to move again. It was a close call. Our quest could have been cut short. A few minutes later, bells were ringing, and the train came to the railroad crossing intersection. My cousins and I could see the cars stopped on each side as we went by. I felt free. We were up to no good, but it felt awesome. About 20 minutes into the ride, the train stopped again. Paradise, Pennsylvania was approximately 5 minutes from our intended destination. Initially, we could see only 2 of the train crew, but about 15 of the crew hopped off the train. The train cars began detaching.
Oh, snap!
My older cousin said. We had to make a power move. Marlo jumped off, I was next, and Jonas was last. We sprinted through the cornfields so we could hide. I fell a few times, but I got right back up. There were mud stains all over me. I knew my mom was going to punish me if she found out. What were we going to do? Should we continue with our journey? Marlo suggested we head back home while it was still light out. We agreed with him. The walk home turned out to be more fun than the ride up. We got to see Amish men building a barn. We touched a few horses, and we took some corn for my grandma to cook for Sunday dinner. There was horse and cow manure all over the place. I dry heaved so many times because of the smell in the air. The 30-minute ride up turned out to be a 2-hour trip to get back home by foot. I found a lot of mementos. I picked up some old handballs, a deflated basketball, and a horseshoe. Jonas grabbed the basketball from me, and I began screaming at him. I needed that ball. Someone had always stolen mine when I went to play at the park. The excursion was exciting. Luckily, no one was injured except for a few knee bruises and scratches we managed to acquire as we hurried through the fields. I was able to change my clothes before my mom could see the mess I had made of them. It seemed like a Huck Finn moment in life, an adventure to remember. However, nobody was trying to hunt us down. Our train ride was like floating on a river, and we safely made it back home. Exploring the other side of Steel City set us free, and it surely beat out fishing for the day. Wandering that day gave me my first lesson about independence, even though I was not supposed to go. This moment in life showed me that I wanted to see parts of the world beyond Steel City. Small towns were not for me.